I make bold to say that Nigerians in Diaspora Chamber of Commerce is an idea whose time has finally come. We all have to join hands together to nurture this baby in order to ensure it achieves its full potential. Nigeria boasts of a wealth of attractions, including tourism, solid minerals, diverse cultures, the tech and digital economy, agriculture, captivating music and movies. Our distinctive film industries and talented artists are shaping global cultures and expanding the influence of pan-Nigerianism. This is the next destination for investment. What do I mean? Nigeria is the next destination for investment. And I want to tell you why this is happening. Nigeria currently has a population that's hovering around 230 million people. The largest economy in Africa, a very huge market. By the year 2050, Nigeria is going to have the third largest population in the world, after China, India, and then Nigeria. 70% of our population is made up of the youth, with a median age of around 18 to 20 years. We have mouth-watering incentives, including 5 years tax holidays. I don't know how many countries that will do that. We have a trainable workforce, and I assure you, you definitely have returns on investment. So, as we kickstart the launch of this project, Nigerians in Diaspora Chamber of Commerce, we are hoping that the Chamber will assist in deepening the business relations between Nigeria and the United States. The embassy stands ready and willing to assist towards the realization of these objectives. I don't want to speak too much. I thank you for listening. I will place again, welcome to Nigeria House. Thank you.
All right, so a few points to note from what His Excellency stated. Nigeria is projected to be the third largest populated country in the world after India and China. You will have returns on your investment with Nigeria. And I think that as you look home, as you look towards Africa, there is progress. Don't worry about what you read on the internet. Don't worry about the propaganda you see. Nigeria is the future. The future is here. So I do welcome you all again, and we are moving right along to the next segment. All right, we are going to invite members of the audience for goodwill messages. If you do have a comment, I'm taking directives, so please bear with me. This is last minute, but we're working through it. All right, I'm going to invite Dr. Bland, Dr. Viola Green, but we'll start with Dr. Bland first. And then next we have Dr. Charles Staunton and Dr. Gulu, but I will take it in turns. Thank you.
I want to thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to speak with you today. I find the microphone is a little awkward It's not quite clear. It makes it difficult to be understood. But we'll get through this. Ordinarily, I do have a loud voice, and it does carry. One of the most important discussions we were just having at our table, we talked about investment and the opportunities for investment in Africa. It was just stated that Africa has the third largest income in the world. Nigeria. Well, the Black American community in the United States has a $2 trillion portfolio. Every conversation I hear, the African nation want investment so they can move forward. But I don't understand why you continue to ignore Black America. $2 trillion to share with you. Every meeting that you have, every conference that you have, you should invite Black Americans. They look like you in every respect. But for some reason, you tend not to feel that they are invited to your table. And I have to say that. I'm not trying to offend anyone. The truth is the truth. You make little effort in doing that. You want success, you want a place at the table so you can bargain with the world. Then you must be unified in that effort. The absence of unity guarantees failure, financial failure. You have to be bigger than that. So does the Black American community. No rejection of Africa. That's where you originated from, although you are an American. You look at the DNA amongst us, we come in all colors. White, black, green, orange, purple, you name the color. They need to be united. All Africans, that includes South Africa. We know the history, the economics of it. We have limited time to tell you other issues related to the dollar. But in this instance, you must be cognizant of why you still live in poverty. You don't have to. It's the absence of faith in yourself and others that look like you. They are all of the same accord. This has nothing to do with hatred towards another race, another color, or anything. Nobody asks to be what they are. What they look like, that's reserved for the creator of all existence, God, who's called by many names. Investment is essential, but you have to come to a mutual understanding between one another. Africans are not hostile towards the world. Neither are Black Americans or many white Americans who have been very successful in working in some instances. I'm a product of civil rights. I've had over 60 years alone in civil rights. I've watched change, but it's not been substantive. It's been lacking because we haven't learned the lessons of biasness and racism, because we continue to repeat the past. Unification goes a long, long ways. Poverty is misery personified. You've seen all of the programs that the government provides all over the world. Some of them work for some people, but not for those who are in dire need. This gathering today is a beginning. We have a woman who's running for the presidency of Nigeria, and you're going to have a lot of support. But your program has to be inclusive of all levels of Nigeria and other surrounding nations. I began working with the African nations back in 1970 with Upper Volta as the first one. And I've done several over the years in arranging finance. I love to see the results and when people are happy at what they do, not angered by someone else who's too tall, too short, too fat, too skinny, white, black, all kinds of silly things that make no sense at all. But this country does hold on to things that don't make sense. I don't have a long time to talk, but I have to say that up front. I wanted you to know that at any time that I or my associates can be of any help in your process, I know patience you will call upon us. I thank you for listening, but it runs a lot deeper. Feel free to contact any of us. May God be with each and every one of you. Thank you.
A loud round of applause please for Dr. Glenn. Thank you so much. That was an amazing speech, an impactful message. The truth is the truth. The absence of unity guarantees failing. Unification goes a long way. Powerful. I wish I could record you. I hope we have some kind of awesome, powerful speech. We thank you, and it is an honor to have you here with your wealth of experience and knowledge in our midst. And you were an asset to the Chamber of Commerce. I thank you. Now we are moving right along to introduce the keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker today is none other than Dr. Give me a second. Okay, Dr. Carl Curtin. Okay, well, so many doctors around Dr. Patience Key. So as everybody, we have Dr. Michelle, everybody. So, okay, we're getting there. He is a visionary executive and policy leader with over 3 decades of experience shaping innovation, ecosystems, advancing inclusive economic growth. And today, in his capacity as the CEO, Council Exchange Board of Trade, principal investigator, looking forward to research and development, we are going to be listening to a keynote address from him. Bring out your pen, your paper, and take some notes. So it doesn't come unawares like what we have with Dr. Glenn. A round of applause, please. Thank you.
Well, first, I just am so very thankful for being here. It's been a long time coming. I met Patience at an AU mission event talking about the 6th region, and now I'm here. And it's an honor to know that this is a beginning of something. And so it's just such a distinguished pleasure to have this beginning. So first, Ambassador, I thank you for having us be in this beautiful establishment, the embassy, of course, Patience Key, the Nigerian Diaspora Chamber of Commerce, any embassy colleagues that are here, and virtual guests that we have. Welcome not only to the embassy, but I wanted to kind of talk about our theme from DC to Lagos, shaping the future of business. It can't come in any more time than that. So we are truly entering a new chapter in history of commerce between the United States and Africa, one not shaped by dependency, one that is shaped by partnership, not by colonial legacies, but by diaspora leadership, not by aid, but by trade. So our last speaker's comment relative to unity, our last speaker's comment relative to we need to be at the table, I submit we create the table. As CEO of the Council Exchange Board of Trade, and just to give you background, we represent the 65,000 minority technology companies that are located here in the U.S. It's a $110 billion industry. We employ 580,000 people. I've been doing this for 25 years, and it's been an absolute honor. We've got members out here. Solomon, your CISO, is a member of our organization. I'm just so very thankful. He's a good friend, and I'm glad that he's here. So I just want to give you acknowledge for your folks over there. I also happen to be one of the founding members of the Tanzania America Chamber of Commerce. So we actually started this between the ambassador of Tanzania and the mayor of Dallas, and that was last year. So this is just it's so marvelous that as diasporas we're coming together, and for me to be able to witness firsthand this transformation that's happening. So the Nigerian diaspora is very unique, and what I'd like to say is that it's critically important that we understand the assets. So today I've got 8 points. I'm going to be quick, but I still have 8 points that I wanted to talk about. I want to begin with just the colonialism legacy, because I think it's important for us to understand from whence we've come. I want to also address this new trade, not aid conversation that's happening out of the President's office, our President's office, President Trump. I want to address the opportunities in Lagos, Nigeria's leadership in digital frontier, building competitiveness beyond oil, and I'd also like to give an unbelievably quick snapshot of our use case in Tanzania, and then a call to action. So here we go. So first off, I really would like to share with you about my perception of the harm that colonialism has done within the African continent. The extraction of our wealth, gold, oil, agricultural products without adding any value, the traditional systems of governance that were basically dismantled and replaced with structures that were Eurocentric and didn't benefit us, the marginalization of our indigenous languages, just as a result, Africa's economy we still have poverty in Africa. There's absolutely no reason for it except if you understand about colonialism. So to just step there, but then to talk about what's happening now, even though the legacy explains why decades after independence, the countries are as old as I am, decades after that colonialism has robbed Africa, but that was then. And that era is over. I'll repeat it, that era is over. And so my message today is really talking about the nexus between the agency that the African countries have and the trade policy changes that has happened within the White House. So this trade not aid and commercial diplomacy framework that has come out of President Trump's areas is pivotal and significant. So regardless of what you think of the broader policies, this policy is critical. This policy is talking about how it is that the ambassadors now are being charged with measuring deals, not the distribution of aid. And it's critical that we understand this policy change. So within the last 100 days of this administration, the first 100 days of this administration, Envoys has facilitated 33 agreements valuing at $6 billion. So the key is, it's not donor assistance, it's private sector investment, trade flows, mutually beneficial partnerships. So this is a real departure, and so when we start looking at reciprocity and equity, for Nigerians and for the diaspora in the US, this is an opportunity. Let's seize on this opportunity. So let's look at that opportunity in more detail, right? So from Lagos, Nigeria's heartbeat, 25% of Nigeria's income. We look at the ports that are there, the assets, the global trade gateway. These are the kind of assets that the ambassador has just spoken about as far as the size, but we also need to look at how Nigeria is truly the gateway to the entire continent. And so from this commercial hub perspective, we also have to think about the continent from a digital economy and innovation. Nigeria is home of one of the most vibrant digital economies in the entire continent. There is, from fintech to collaborations to cybersecurity, it's truly the new frontier. So from the diaspora perspective, it's particularly important that we embed our US knowledge. And what we need to understand is Nigerian diasporas have penetrated multiple different corporations. They are leaders. They have the intellectual property. And so it's critical that Nigeria's diaspora actually comes together in a tangible way to make impact. The other side that I'm really very interested in is the non-oil exports in agriculture. It was wonderful that the oil is not being tariffed, but it's also wonderful that Nigeria has one of the lowest tariffs of all of the tariffs that are happening. It's time to truly take advantage of that. that particularly relates to cocoa, sesame seeds, cashew nuts. How do we bring value add? How do we bring U.S. manufacturing to the continent? And how do we begin as the diaspora to then not only invest ourselves, which of course signals that it's a governance and it's a wealth thing to invest, but for us also to be able to signal to some of these larger funds that this is what we need to do and to be that intermediary. The other area that, of course, is interest of mine is on the service and ICT side. Nollywood, we had talked about the fact that movies are created. I mean, really the creative aspect, the youth, it's just saying that there's just no better time. So I just want to kind of share with you my thesis. For trade, not aid to work, it must be diaspora-led. My thesis is for trade, not aid to work, it must be diaspora-led. So, patience, I just want you to know that the work that you're doing to gather the people, I'm just hoping that the agencies, the embassies support you in a way to really understand how strategic the work you're doing is. So, let's kind of break that down a little. Let's look at trust and cultural fluency. So the diaspora leaders truly they understand what's going on the ground. They also understand what's going on in the U.S. It's critical. It's bidirectional. As our last speaker spoke about, we control billions of dollars. How do we bring those billions of dollars to actually support value add and supply chains? And as far as restoring agency and ownership and esteem, it's really critical that we begin to understand that as we come together, as we unify, as we invest, as we bring investors, it's not just about the fact that Nigeria will win, but we will feel differently here in the U.S. It's time for us to rise. So I want to kind of pass through, I just want to share quickly about what happened with the trade bridge program that we have. We just signed an MOU with university in Tanzania, and what we're doing is, as a $110 billion organization, we're building trade hubs that are digitally controlled smart contracts to allow for transactions, and we're also bringing governance as a service, so we're bringing a 90-point plan, so kind of de-risking the ecosystem for foreign direct investment. So enough about that. Because you have this leader here in your CISO, because of our relationship patience, we'll talk more about that because I believe it's a revenue generating opportunity for your organization. Okay, so colonialism was about extraction, aid, the well-intended, too often perpetuated dependency, but trade, not aid, is about exchange between equals. It's critical that we look at this. We take from you and so in that place of connectivity and in paradigm shift, let me just say this. Let's position Lagos not only as Nigeria's commercial hub, but African gateway to global trade. Let's leverage the U.S. trade, not aid framework to secure investments in Nigeria. Let us invest not only on capital, but also skills, knowledge, mentorship because of the youth. We've got to really understand the youth opportunity. Let us advocate for policies on tariffs, logistics, intellectual property that ensure Nigerians export and thrive in U.S. markets. And above all, let's demonstrate through our leadership, diaspora-led trade is to assure us to have us prosper. So in closing, what I'd like to share from the 6th region, from the members of this distinguished embassy, from the virtual listeners that here, what I'd like to share is this is our turn to shine. The world is watching, and the moment is now. So thank you.
Thank you so much. He took us to class again. I took a few notes while he was speaking. Trade, not aid. And of course, thank you so much as a Nigerian. Thank you for selling Nigeria to the world. But you did not lie. Everything you said was spot on. These were numbered. This is factual. So I think with some of the latest tariffs in place, the focus now is on how to create real value from these opportunities. I think that it's also important that we understand. I don't know if we have some promotional materials here. If not, I'm sure information will be on the website. But it's important for us to understand what Nigeria really offers in terms of trade. And he said something that stuck to me. For the trade, not aid to work, it has to be diaspora-led. And with that, I want to thank the Nigerian Diaspora Chamber of Commerce, Madam Patience Key here, for championing that cause. Because it takes one person to start up, to take up the initiative and move on. And she's a force. If you know her personally, she is a force. She doesn't have to be this tall, but she is fire. So I do thank you for leading this cause. And with that, I think we'd like to move on to the next keynote presenter, Mr. Lawrence Freeman, Political Economic Analyst for Africa. You're welcome. A round of applause, please. Please be generous with your hand. Don't let me turn Nigerian on you. Please be generous with your hand. Your applause. It doesn't cost anything. Thank you.
Can everybody hear me okay? Okay. Well, thank you very much, Patience and Ambassador. I haven't been to the embassy in a few years, but I agree with the previous speaker that Patience is a force. And I know from my long decades of organizing, it takes a lot of work, a lot of determination to bring together a gathering like this. So thank you very much, Patience, for what you've done. Just a little bit about myself. I landed in Murtala Mohammed Airport in Lagos in 1994. It was a long time ago. I've made many, many trips to Nigeria. And in the first term of the President Buhari's office, we worked together on a project called Transaqua to bring water from the Congo River through Nigeria to refurbish Lake Chad. And I worked with the Lake Chad Basin Commission. And we had a massive conference in February 2018. The project is still being discussed in the current government, but not as much emphasis is being put on it again. So I have a long history, 30 plus years with Nigeria. And let me start off this discussion in a way maybe you wouldn't expect. Next Tuesday, September 9th, the biggest development in Africa since liberation is going to occur. And that's going to be the official inauguration of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, GER. I've been to the dam twice, most recently in May. It's going to be official on Tuesday. And why do I say this is such a momentous occasion? It's going to be 5,150 megawatts of electricity just delivered by this dam, which is a massive, beautiful infrastructure. It's a mile across. It has a reservoir 640 meters deep. It has 74 billion cubic meters of water. It is magnificent. This was done by the Ethiopian people. $4 billion collected from salaries, officials, bonds, and contributions. So in a country and a region that's starved for electricity, this is essential. And to me, it's the most interesting development in decades. Next week, on the 15th and 16th, I'm going to be a speaker at the Railway Conference in Abuja, a 2-day conference. Railways are essential. President Buhari did some significant work in 2022 or 13. I took my first ride on a railroad in Nigeria from Abuja to Kaduna to visit a friend. The fact that they're still not perfect, this is very significant, and there's a discussion now about a $4 billion contract to build a railway throughout southern Nigeria. So why do I start with these two issues? Because infrastructure is the essential element for progress in any country, anywhere in the world. And any country that promotes infrastructure actually grows economically. Rail development, electricity are the two most essential, not the only one, but they're the most essential. And it's the lack of electricity in sub-Saharan Africa and the lack of high-speed rail that literally, people might get upset, not figuratively, literally kills Africans. Because we don't have the food, we don't have the schools, we don't have the hospital, we don't have the medicine, we don't have this because we don't have electricity. And we're not connected. In a sense, as the previous speaker said, we're still living a portion of the colonial legacy. That we don't have a high-speed train. Four going east-west, three going north-south. That's what Agenda 2063 wants, but that's a long way off. So we're going to discuss that at the conference. But what infrastructure does, it's not the collection of a fee by a train or a dam. That's not what you're concerned about as far as income. Infrastructure, if you create an infrastructure platform, water, energy, rail, roads, that platform produces an increase in the productivity of all your workers and farmers. And it produces profitability to the economy more than what you might collect as fees for individual projects. The density of infrastructure makes every farmer and worker more productive. So this is the area that we have to work on for investment and change. To be truly economically solvent, we have to produce our own goods, and we have to have the infrastructure to accomplish that. I bring up the question of electricity, because this is a very serious issue. I did some calculations, so you don't have to take down the numbers, but just listen to the ideas. We have in Nigeria 142 kilowatt hours per capita, per person. In the United States, we have 12,997 kilowatt hours per capita. That's 100 times greater. That's 2 orders of magnitude. If you divide by the hours in a year, which is around even 700 hours, Nigerians get 25 to 50 watts per capita. Americans, for example, get 1,213 watts. So there is no per capita sufficient amount of electricity, much less the fact only half the country has access to electricity. And I've been to Nigeria dozens of times in Abuja, in a good neighborhood. At night, what do you hear? You hear the humming of the generators that people had to pay for themselves. And they pay more for their electricity than we do here in the United States. So we have to make a major effort. The official figures is that Nigeria has installed capacity of 14,000 megawatts. Installed, that's what it's capable of. But it only distributes 5,000 to 6,000 megawatts of power. So not only can't the consumer live, and I've been in the best places and just friends' houses, and all of a sudden the air conditioning shuts off and you're hot. I mean, you're grasping for air. That's got to end. And industry requires electricity. Agriculture requires electricity. Adding value to the manufactured products and extractive industry requires electricity. So this is a prime area that we've got to create massive investment in this area of infrastructure. We have to address the question of poverty, which the previous speaker brought up. In the world, the total globe, there's 692 million people living in extreme poverty. That's $2.15 or less a day. In Africa, has 469 million of that 692, 67%. And Africa, and I'm sad to say this, is the only continent where poverty is increasing. That is, more people are on poverty per day, per year. China eliminated 700 million people out of poverty through infrastructure. That's why we know it can be done. Nigeria has 129 million people, according to statistics. 129 million people living on less than $2.15 a day. You can't live that way. As mentioned earlier, Africa is going to be about 2.4, 2.5 billion people in 2050. Nigeria is projected to be 425 to 450 million people. The youth bulge in Africa will be 1 billion. So that's a resource. That's a plus, not a minus. But we have to develop the minds of these youth. We have to have productive jobs. You've got to be able to get a paycheck and take it home and have a house and have electricity in your house and have rooms for your children so they can read into the night with light and they can study and they can do the intellectual work that will take us to the next generation of success. I'm sorry to say, I don't know if people believe this, but the informal economy is not a solution. I've been watching the informal economy since I started going to Africa. The informal economy will not solve the problem. Giving people full, productive, paying jobs is the only way forward. And here is what my solutions, or the direction we have to go. The only pathway that's going to work, and I know this from my own studies as a physical economist. I don't care about money. I care about physical wealth. Investments that raise the standard of living of people. So from my standpoint as a physical economist, the only thing that's going to work is physical economic growth in Nigeria and throughout Africa. That is, we have to have development. Africa has consciously been kept down, as the speaker mentioned. So we don't have industrialization. It doesn't exist on the continent. We have a steel plant in Nigeria that was started in the 1990s and still hasn't been finished. There's almost no manufacturing production anywhere in Africa. Africa contributes 3% of manufactured products globally. And yet it has all these people and it has all this wealth. It has never been allowed to industrialize. So that's a product key. We have to focus on manufacturing. Manufacturing plants hire more people than extractive industry. And manufacturing plants means you can produce your own wealth. People don't know the real history of the United States Revolution, but our revolution began way before the tea tax in Boston Harbor. People were enraged that the British would not allow us to have a manufacturing sector. And people like Alexander Hamilton understood that. It's the same for Nigeria. It's the same for everywhere in Africa. We don't produce our own products. Look at agriculture. For the last several years, Africa as a whole has spent $40 billion importing food. And that's hard foreign currency. That's a crime. The foreign currency has to be used to buy capital products. I've been in maybe 7, 8 countries and over 15 visits. I've visited about a third of the states in Africa. All the land is fertile. The water is there. We may have to move it, but that's what we do. But it's all potentially there. There's no reason for African countries not to be 90% self-sufficient. Not to toot the horn of Ethiopia, but they, this year, will produce 30 million metric tons of wheat. And they'll sell about 7 million of that on the market to get foreign currency. This is there in every country. When I first came to Nigeria in 1994, a friend of mine, Hausa, introduced me to a lot of the people there. And there was a problem that in Nigeria, anywhere you put something in the ground, food will grow up. And that if you put your finger in the ground, another finger will grow up. But it's there. Everywhere I went, it was there. So we have to focus on manufacturing and being self-sufficient in agriculture. We have an opportunity. Most people don't know what the opportunity is. But the West-dominated financial political system, which they now call the rules-based order, is weakening. It's not dominant anymore. And therefore, this gives us the potential to create something better. as something new. You look at the recent conference, the Shanghai Cooperative Conference organization just took place with China, India, and Russia, and 20 other countries. Look at the potential of the BRICS. Has 10 members and has 10 partners. One of those partners is Nigeria. Members include Ethiopia, Egypt, and South Africa. Ethiopia and Egypt is about 225 million people. Add Nigeria, that's 450 million people. I think Algeria is now also a partner. So with 10 partners and 10 members, led by China, this is a new force in the world, along with other multipolar organizations. I was just talking to my friend, Dr. Glenn. The unilateral world is over. It's done. I read the reports from foreign affairs think tanks in Washington, because that's what I write about on my website. They can't keep up with China. They can't keep up with the rest of the world. They have to change. And the system that was set up on the Bretton Woods, Roosevelt had a different idea than what it turned into. But what it's turned into doesn't promote growth. So we need institutions and countries, like-minded, getting together, and we have to create new institutions. We have to create a new paradigm, a paradigm concentrated on development. And that's the opportunity we have. And Nigeria has to play a leadership role in that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. That was a whole lot to unpack. As you make your way back to your seat, I thank you for sharing that insight with the numbers you provided for us. Infrastructure is the essential element for progress anywhere in the world, and focusing on manufacturing and self-sufficient agriculture is also key. And Nigeria, for those of you who partner with Nigeria or work with Nigeria, Nigeria is making a tremendous effort in improving the key areas. We're making great strides, opening doors for trade, investment, and growth. It is now my pleasure to welcome Dr. Sade Adekweju Joseph, Head of the Directorate of Diaspora and International Affairs at the Office of the Leader of the Senate, to deliver her own goodwill message. You know, I'm trying to keep it classy, I'm trying to package and just keep it, but please, give a round of applause. Let it be loud. That's the least you can do. I don't want to bring out my Nigerianness here. I just want to keep it classy for everyone. So please give a round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I humbly acknowledge your presence. I must say I'm just opportune to be here. It wasn't planned, and but I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity. I must also declare here that I'm also a member of the Nigerians in the Diaspora. Having lived in the Western world for quite some time, and I think that was one of the reasons why I got this job to, for the Directorate of Diaspora and International Affairs, to lead it under the auspices of the Office of the Senate Leader. I must also declare that Patience Key, the President and CEO of NiDCC, is a personal friend of mine, a very good friend, someone, and if you do know me, I'm very careful how I choose my friends. Before I can call you my friend, there are certain qualities that you must possess. You must be a resilient person, human, and strong. And you must have integrity. Because Because if you're not willing to stake yourself on something, then you will fall for anything. When it comes to Patience Key, I assure you, she has that. So today, I wish to thank the organizers, those who stood by her and her team, especially the ambassador himself. He's been a strong tower, and we deeply appreciate it. So it's an honor and privilege to stand before you today to discuss some of the roles that the Senate Diaspora Office plays in encouraging the investment and development potential of Nigerians. I don't need to say much. Today, the assemblage of people here are professionals, proud Nigerian diasporans, and those also who are members of the United States, community and beyond. As we know, the Nigerian diaspora is one of the largest and most dynamic in the world. And with over 17 million Nigerians, if I have the figures right. So the potential for economic growth and development is huge. And like I said, I do not need to say more. The assemblage of people here and the work of Patience Key in channeling this vision that she has dutifully pushed. It goes on to show that work is already ongoing. We have strong members of the Nigerians in the diaspora community willing to push. I know this is not a political event, but the renewed hope agenda of our current president is in line, it's aligned to that. So, and myself, my office, we need examples like her so that we can showcase our readiness. And she has exemplified what it takes to represent in this space. So, kudos to her once again. So, there are some areas in my interaction with Nigerians across the globe, and that is usually how the Nigerian Senate itself is poised to support some of their needs. Well, one of the key areas that office can be of help and assistance will be in bridging the gap between Nigeria and its diaspora. So by a number of measures. My presence here today is because I believe in that and I'm working towards that. In addition, encouraging investment in Nigeria is become a pertinent issue. And I'm telling you, I met great professionals here. I've listened to exemplary individuals, and I can assure you that this team can deliver. And also, so we would want any engagement you would want with the Nigerian Senate will be welcomed, because I will personally write a report of this occasion and its purpose. So the third thing is helping with remittances and the policies around that. I'm sure you guys are aware that there's been some changes in policy by this present administration. So things around that. And of course, empowering the diaspora for development initiatives. So I do not want to take too much of your time, but I must say this has been a wonderful occasion, and I bring greetings from the Office of the Senate Leader, Nigerian Senate, and I wish you all a wonderful time Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ltegboje Joseph, for positive and encouraging comments. If you listen to her, thank you for clapping. That was much louder than we've had in the past. She also shared how her office can assist in bridging the gap between the diaspora and the office of the Senate leader. Nigeria's potential for economic growth is quite huge. So I thank her. I always like to appreciate people from government when they come out and say, look, our doors are open. You can come in and you can talk, and truly, it is open. And with people like her being a great ambassador for her office, we will hold her to her word. When I'm in Nigeria, I say, madam, you said this, and this thing. Share your office is open, and this is what we want to do. Well, yes, that's one thing with it. It's a Nigerian spirit, really, when they tell you, look, our office is open. As long as you can get through that security, any security that they have, as long as you can get through it, your problem is done. So I thank you. Yes. Now, we're going to keep it short, and I do apologize in advance if you have a longer speech to make, but I have been asked to keep it a bit shorter. That way, His Excellency Ambassador Ltegboje can get on to do all the things lined up for today. And of course, you distinguished ladies and gentlemen can get on with your other programs. So I will be inviting Ms. Viola Green for her goodwill message. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Good afternoon, everybody. And as we are talking about where we come from and who we are and being here, I really want to give honor to the ancestors who have brought me here. Long ago in my bloodline, there lies traces of Nigeria. So I want to give honor to the people that came through this trade that we have to land here. My father is Cheyenne, and he had told me long before America became America that there was trade between these two nations. And so I give great honor to the people of both continents. So I have some thoughts to share. And so it's a pivotal and profound moment that we stand in right here today, shaping the future for business presented by the Nigerians and Diaspora Chamber of Commerce. We gather here in this really crucial and critical moment when Africa's potential is not just a promise, but is the palpable reality. For too long, the narrative has been one of challenge, of an Africa that is only a price taker in the global economy, simply exporting raw materials. But that narrative is changing. And the transformation is happening because of people like Patience Key and the organizations like NiDCC, who are laying a pathway for a new era of collaboration. We are moving from price takers to a value maker, and the key is shift lies in two powerful collaborative strategies: thinking regionally and negotiating together. First, think regionally and act industrial. The African Continental Free Trade Agreement, or AFTA, is not just a policy, it's a blueprint for continental prosperity. When Africa rises, we all rise. My company, the International Institute, is here with NiDCC to build out hubs so the diaspora and Nigeria particularly can pool our demand, strengthen our internal markets, and build the industrial capacity that allows to add value to our resources collectively. This is about building a robust, interconnected economy that supports local businesses and fosters a new era in manufacturing and innovation. The second is negotiate together. Africa's immense wealth and critical minerals is at the heart of the global green economy transition. We, inclusive of the diaspora in America, must come together through a unified strategy to ensure we're not just simply setting off our future, selling it off. As a member of the diaspora, I'm here to support Patience to use our collective bargaining power to secure fair deals, attract responsible investment, and build the infrastructure for our own industrialization. My organization, the International Institute, brings a unique value add to this collaboration with the ability to forge partnerships that create opportunities for processing and manufacturing. This enables Africans to stay at home and have hope, because we are building a future with jobs across the transatlantic for both continents. These are not just abstract ideals, these are actionable strategies that are being driven by the very leaders on our stage today that came up to have a conversation. This is where we build the bridges beyond the US and Nigeria to the whole of Africa and the United States. This is where we commit to a future where our success is measured not only by our individual achievements, but by the collective growth and well-being of our people. Let's seize this moment and build the Africa we deserve.
All right, Nigeria, we have this balance. We say, sharp, 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 sharp. Before I could even catch my breath, she was done. Thank you for keeping it very short for us, okay? So we are moving on to invite Dr. Charles Staunton for his own goodwill message. Thank you. Hey, Doctor, please clap, see with the rest, because not only the respects the hair of his head. Start clapping as he walks on the stage. I already see that there will be so much knowledge from his speech. Right? Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Charles Staunton, and I'm a friend of Dr. Bland's and this beautiful president of Nigeria, Patience Key. I met her about 3 months ago, I think it was, and I'm just so elated to have the privilege to say that I'm very, very proud of her. Back in 1970, I was in Ghana. I went to school in Ghana for 3 months with a group from UDC. We spent 3 months. We traveled throughout Ghana, stayed with families, and I found out that I am Nigerian, Ghanaian, and Cameroonian, German, Irish, and Scottish. I am grateful to God for this opportunity just to stand here and say that God bless you, God loves you, and so do I. Thank you.
All right, the goodwill message from Dr. Staunton is something that should inspire Madam Patience Key and her work with NiDCC. I will be moving on to invite none other than Mr. Solomon Ogeva. He is the Chief Information Security Officer at Nigerian Diaspora Chamber of Commerce. Thank you. So he is the Inacopus.
Thank you so much. Very quickly, I just want to thank you all for taking the time, and a special thanks to everyone that's a part of NiDCC. The hard work that we're doing, it is definitely paying off. But I really want to take this time to talk about social media and the youth, and making sure that we are connecting with that youth. There was a stat that was given a second ago that states that there's going to be 1 billion Africans, and that 1 billion are youth, right? Right. So that's a market within itself that is absolutely untapped. And when we talk about social media and social media influencers, they themselves recognize themselves as businesses. They recognize themselves as entities. And that is something that we absolutely have to take advantage of. One of my objectives as being the CISO is to build a strong relationship when it comes to online banking. So I'll just list a few points that I've stated that I've jotted down. Building a strong brand identity as far as NiDCC online, so that goes across all of our social media platforms, staying engaged, and secondly, expanding market reach globally. Making sure that Nigerians are being seen in the light that we see in this excellent individual, business-oriented, trustworthy. So it's super important that the imagery that we put out there, that it shows the hard work that we're doing. And I think that needs to change to the youth, and it's going to be a part of my objective within the organization to do so. Also, engaging with our African American community as well as other African communities in the diaspora. It's super important that they feel included and that they feel, many of the African American friends I have, they take the opportunity to go and find out their ancestry. And many of them will find out that they're Nigerian. And they're excited to tell me the percentage that they are. So that tells you right there that there is, the inclusion is already there. They want that. You know, it's like a person that's waiting for you to give them a hug. So we have to be the one to extend that, and I'm gonna make sure that that happens within our DCC. And lastly, I think it's super important that we showcase Nigerian products, Nigerian businesses, and that those of us in the diaspora that have the ability to actually invest and popularize brands and products from Nigeria, it's absolutely important that we take that advantage to do so. So expect a lot from us, from NiDCC, and expect a lot from the visual that we'll be presenting as far as our online presence. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Go on. Sharp, sharp, another sharp, sharp. Can I hear sharp, sharp? If you're not Nigerian, I inducted today. Sharp, sharp, that was a very quick one. Thank you for that. He spoke on engaging with the African American community. And of course, reminded us that we are all connected. Doesn't matter where you're from. We're all connected to the continent. He also highlighted how crucial it is to showcase Nigerian products and to create opportunities to build our presence globally. One of the speakers earlier said, in every sector you go into, you will see a Nigerian. We are everywhere. We are in your face, unapologetically. We are there. And we excel in whatever we stepped our mind to do. So when you're working with a Nigerian, use your head in the sense that you know what you want, because Nigerians don't have time or the patience for someone who is, if you don't have what you're working with, don't come. Be prepared. I'm trying to say to the most, because His Excellency is here, I'm trying to hold my tongue and say it in the best way possible, but really you want to come prepared. You want to know what you want out of Nigeria. Don't get fed with what, Nigerians are this, Nigerians are that. We are smart, and we don't have time for people who delay. So we want members. NiDCC wants members who will support, who will help grow the organization, and who know what they want out of Nigeria. Nigeria is a land blessed with so many opportunities, so much to offer. Apart from the culture, the jollof rice, we've got so much to offer. But in terms of trade and investment, it's something that I would say, please, do not think twice about investing towards the organization. It's important the work the organization is doing in connecting that bridge with the diaspora and Nigeria. All right, without further ado, I will be inviting the next speaker to, I promise you it will be very short. It will be shorter than it was in the beginning. I'm going to invite Dr. Kendrick to speak. Dr. Kendrick, they're already clapping for you. You know my guests, they don't really clap anyhow, so they're clapping for you. Please take on and come to the microphone. Dr. Kendrick? Okay, please give him just a little bit more. He's putting on his, he has to come correct. You know, I told Nigeria, people always come correct for Nigeria, so he's making his way in here. Dr. Kendrick, that's okay.
Sorry, it was unexpected. Hello everyone, my name is Kendrick Scribner from the Kendrick Scribner Foundation, and I'm just so thankful to be here among all of you. My foundation is doing work over in Nigeria. We support the widows and the orphans of the fallen heroes of the Nigerian police force. Back in 2020, I had an experience with some of the widows from the fallen heroes of the Nigerian police force, which prompted me to invest in their lives. So since 2020, we have supported the widows and the orphans, providing them with food, providing with medical services. Currently, we have a vocational center that we built January 2024 in Lagos, Nigeria. And we have about 110 students in ICT. We have about 130 students in bead making, and we have maybe 150 in tailoring. And what these courses are, they're 6 months to a year courses where they learn tailoring from the beginning, how to make patterns, how to cut patterns, how to sew different type of items and things like that. And so I'm just so glad to have an opportunity to invest, in changing lives. And I just thank God for an opportunity just to have him use me to support them. We have an event coming up January 2026, which will be the 24th and 25th. We're going to be having it at the Police College in Acacia. Every 6 months, we do an event for the widows. And every June, we renew the health insurance for the widows. So we give them health insurance. We give them dental, medical, vision, and medication, all for free. They can go to any hospital in Lagos, except for Dutchess. They can go to any hospital, get treatment, medication, anything, and it's through Lagos State. And so we thank you for our partner there in Lagos State for giving us the opportunity to be able, we have, this June, we just renewed the health, and we had 700 widows that we did last year, and we added another 300 this June, which makes 1,000. So we were able to do that. Next June, we're going to renew the insurance for the 1,000 and then add another 300. And so I just ask that you go to my website, go look at some of the interesting things that we're doing in their lives and the changes. And not just providing the opportunity for the widows and orphans, we also empower them. So once they graduate from the 6 months to a year course, we give them sewing machine, laptops, and bead making kits to get them started in their businesses. So most of it, I do have some sponsors, but most of it is funded by me and my church back in Baltimore. And I just ask that you guys just pray for me, that I'll continue to do the work that the Lord has assigned me. He has put me in the widows' lives for a reason. And just to see the smiles on their faces and see the kids running around. We also, for the Haken School, we also sponsor 50 students. We pay their school fees, their tuition, their books, everything. And we also, 25 students of the widows, we also pay for their college tuition for 4 years. So we're doing a lot of work there, and I just thank God. Continue to pray for me. Go to KedrickScribnerFoundation.org, KedrickScribnerFoundation.org. And if you get a chance, give $5, $10, whatever you can. We would so much appreciate it. And thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Ndidi, to the work that you are doing for widows. My mom is a widow, so I know the part of widowhood practice, especially in places like Africa. So thank you for the work that you do, and thank you for your commitment to the NiDCC project. Now, while he was speaking, I just saw someone who walked in here, Dr. Ndidi, who is the president and founder of the Caribbean and African Faith-Based Leadership Conference. Dr. DK, a round of applause for him.
A pleasant good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. I greet you from the African and Caribbean International Leadership Conference. I'm not going to say much about our organization, but just to say that It's a joy to be here at the Nigerian Diaspora Chamber of Commerce and to say that you have a wonderful president, CEO, and founder. And I would give her her proper address by saying that she's the Honorable Patience King, or Her Excellency Patience King. Because for the ambassador of Nigeria, a novice to know, she is a real ambassador in the marketplace and in the global business community, not only here in the United States, in the Caribbean and elsewhere. I remember, just say quickly, my first visit to Nigeria in 2017. I am born in Jamaica, I'm a Nigerian born in Jamaica. And my first visit, I met patients and I needed to, passport got lost, all sort of stuff. But I needed a Nigerian visa and I needed to fly the next day to Nigeria. And patients made all the calls and I got that visa and I was in Nigeria the next day. And I went for 6 weeks and I ended up here for 3 months, going to 27 states. And I've worked along with patients on so many initiatives. She is an advocate for our community. And I'm just going to say that we have a lot of potentials, not only because we have a significant population here in the US and around the world, but even as a person born in Jamaica, I can tell you that there's a very vibrant Nigerian community in Jamaica and in other parts of the Caribbean. And so there's numerous opportunities for investment, not only here in the US, but in other parts of the Caribbean, in Korea, in Asia. All those places I've traveled, in Taiwan, you'll see vibrant Nigerian communities. So I think as we collaborate and network, we can make significant and great impact as a Chamber of Commerce around the globe. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Duquesne. That is the power of community. And of course, I hope that you are inspired, Madam Key, by all these words. It should not just end on this podium, but I hope that it inspires the work that you do every other day after this event. Without further ado, I'm going to invite Dr. John Wulu, who is the Chief Investment Officer for Nigerian Diaspora Chamber of Commerce, another member of the Inner Caucus. So a round of applause. Let it be loud, please. I know we are tired.
Thank you so much. This is a very special day for all of us. We are beginning this springboard here to move on to Nigeria and get the blessings from the motherland. I'm very delighted to be in the presence of dignitaries, all protocol observed as well. With regards to having the ambassador of Nigeria and also Honorable President Patience Key around. I was going to speak a little bit longer, but I will not. I will do this in 2 minutes. Trust me. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, diasporans and friends of Nigeria, it's an honor to stand before you today on behalf of the NiDCC as the Chief Investment Officer and member of the board. This organization is going to prosper in that I've decided as I spend time in my retirement as of next month from the U.S. government Department of Homeland Security, I will continue to do my teaching at the University of Maryland. But I want to say 3 things I want to share with you is that as the NiDCC is committed to unlocking 3 key opportunities, which are trade and business expansion, capacity building, resource sharing, investment facilitation. I'm going to be one of those that will be on board making such a thing happen for the NiDCC, the Nigerians in the Diaspora Chamber of Commerce. I am very delighted to say, ladies and gentlemen, that NiDCC is helping to shape the future of business by connecting Nigerians entrepreneurs with diaspora capital, technology, expertise, We are laying the foundation for stronger regional economies by encouraging partnerships in energy, fintech, healthcare, creative industries. We are positioning Nigeria not only as Africa's largest economy, but also as a hub for continental innovation. This is not just about economics, it is about nation building. When Nigerians in the diaspora invest in businesses, infrastructure, and human capital, we are not only creating profit, we are creating jobs, empowering communities, and inspiring the next generation to dream bigger. So the future of Nigeria, and indeed Africa, depends not only on those who live within her borders, but also on the millions of us abroad who still carry Nigeria in our hearts. Through the Nigerians in the Diaspora Chamber of Commerce, we now have the structure, the network, and the collective will to turn ideas into impact. So on behalf of NiDCC, I thank you all for your support and invite you to join us as we build a future for Nigerians everywhere to contribute to a stronger, more prosperous Nigeria and thriving Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bini. Very insightful. I did not expect anything less from the Chief Investment Officer with NiDCC. They said through the organization we have a vehicle for this change that we seek. And then remember, wherever you go, the future of Nigeria and Africa as a whole, as a continent, depends on each and every one of us today. All right, now we are going to our last goodwill message. I would like to recognize Dr. Michelle Haley. She is the Athletic Faculty and Dissertation Chair at the Chicago School, Washington, D.C. campus. Allow me to, please, where you're coming from. Before you come my forward, I do want to recognize this beautiful lady here. She was one of the early birds that we had, so thank you for coming to support. Take your flowers.
Thank you so much. I really wanted to stretch my legs as well. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm really excited to be here. I just want to give honor to the ambassador and also thank you to Patience Key, who I have come to know really quickly. And I want to thank Dr. Patricia McDougall, because she is actually the one who introduced me to Patience, and we clicked and connected right away. And so I'm excited and happy to have this opportunity. And so I actually wear a number of different hats and kind of launching, I say, into the global arena when I was about 8. So my dad took us on vacation to Nassau and I got bit by the bug, and just the people, the culture, and I'm from New Jersey originally, so we're all foodies. So everywhere we go, it's all about the food as well. So just being able to meet the different people, different cultures, different foods, it just really hooked me on the global community. And so over my career and just in life, I've been able to travel to different parts of Africa, South America, doing just missionary work and global work and connecting with the peoples there. So when I got this opportunity to connect with you all, I just jumped at the chance because I think this is a really important initiative. It's really exciting, and I'm just really grateful to be able to be here to just give my supply and to serve where I can. So just a few things that I think that are really important. As a professor, one of the things that we do, we talk about not just scholarship, but we talk about real world experiences. And one of the things that I teach is called cultural intelligence, right? And it's on the international psychology kind of realm. And I know people are familiar with emotional intelligence, but cultural intelligence has been around, I guess, from an educational standpoint for about 20 years now. But it's really not just about culture as it relates to ethnicity or country, but also like region and area, right? So the culture in one part of Nigeria may not be the same, in terms of, the customs for that particular area. So it's just a matter of us as we're coming into Nigeria to really be mindful of the culture and being intelligent from that and working collectively based on what that is. So I'm looking at innovation and technology, right? The future of global business will definitely be impacted by that. We talked about that in terms of AI and technologies and connecting, Mr. Freeman talked about, the energy and that kind of thing. So we have to really look at that. And then looking at global collaboration as a whole, right? Just partnerships. And so if you think about it, just working together collaboratively, when you work as a team, we have just a wealth of information and background and knowledge. And so all of those things that we bring together as a collective just can really help us move forward, and especially across the different borders that we're gonna just be dealing with. So, and also looking at number 3, inclusivity and growth. Right, Dr. Kendrick talked about the women that his organization just really empowers. So it's really empowering the people within the country, right, to be able to be sustained and do what they can, and show them kind of how they can do that and empower them. It's an essential thing for us to do kind of moving forward. And then also looking at sustainability, right? Business must be a balance with, as opposed to just bottom line, it needs to be profit and prosperity, profitability. Not profitability just for those who are trying to generate income for their companies or their organizations, but profitability for, right, the people within the community that you're serving. And lastly, looking at talent and skills, right? Continuously learning. Again, as I mentioned about the cultural intelligence, being adaptable. And as leaders, I think it's just really important for the global economy for us to be students of life. We're constantly learning. That's one of the things that really excites me about what I do. And Carl actually asked me earlier, he said, like, what is one of the things what is your thesis? Right, and we talked about that, and actually Joy had asked me earlier, but you asked me as well. It's like, what is the thing that you really are excited about? Because I wear so many different hats, serving my church, being a professor, family, different things. And so for me, it's really service, right? Service is the best thing in my mind. It's like the rent we pay for us to be here on the planet. And so when we're doing the serving, though, we have to learn and understand who we're serving, why we're serving them. And so really just learning and just continuing to educate ourselves, not just about the country, but the people, staying up with technology, what's happening in the world, so that we can utilize all of these different things and leverage that to be able to make an impact. So I thank you.
Dr. Haley, service is key. All right, service is key, and what better way to transition to the next? I'm going to be inviting the women who gathered us here together today. It is my absolute pleasure. Excuse me, sir. This is the moment we're waiting for. I actually take exception. I use my power of the microphone to ask you all, please listen as we introduce Madam Key here. She is a remarkable leader and true champion for women in leadership, of course. For those who know, she did run for elections in Nigeria. I think she's done it twice. And it takes a lot to run for office. It's not like here, where you say, give me $5, give me $2, everybody go. It's Nigeria, you actually fund your campaign. And this lady right here has funded her campaign. I think she was about the only woman, if I'm not mistaken, Madam Key, who ran in the midst of other men. It didn't work, she fought. I followed her journey. And we're here, yes, for the NiDCC, but I cannot ignore or sideline her past achievement, her work that she does. Dr. Haley said something that service is key. This is a woman who has served in her capacity as the chairperson for the Nigerian Diaspora organization. She was a galvanizer. Hello? If you haven't been hearing me before, I will turn on the speaker, but it's important that we say these things. I love to celebrate people, not because I'm here standing, but it's just also to support each and every one of us in whatever we do. Madam Key is an organizer, a galvanizer. I know the work she put in when she was chairperson of NIDO. I know what she did for the community. I know how much passion she showed. I'm like, at 2 a.m. this lady is, or 3 a.m. she's up. No, be so. Excuse me, but yes, she will be up working. See, I'm gonna keep it okay. I'm gonna just, let me not get carried away, but I do want to appreciate what you do, Madam Key. She is also the founder and president of the Nigerian Diaspora Chamber of Commerce, the reason why we're gathered here today. And of course, with all the things that she's done, I can go on and on, but I will not. I invite Madam Patience Key to the microphone to deliver her address. No. We got protocol. Give me observe, please. Your Excellency, sir, you're exempted though. I didn't call you. But yes, I thank you.
Thank you everyone. Thank you. Honorable Master of Ceremony for the wonderful work you've been doing. I want to say good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for taking our time to be here with us today, to honor us, to honor our invitation. I want to say very big thank you. Your Excellency Ambassador Samson Ltegboje, my mentor, my boss, my brother, my friend, our president, the embassy, this is our home. This is our president in America. I want to say very big thank you for your time, for choosing to be here with us, for taking our time out of your busy schedule to be here and be our distinguished chief host, for your love, for your kindness. I want to say very big thank you. Thank you so very much. And the members of the diplomatic corps, leaders from governments, multilateral institutions, captains of industry and finance, partners from academia and civil society, our media colleagues, our fellow Africans and friends of Africans, Caucasians, whatever place you're from, I want to say very big thank you. From UAE, we might look small, but we are all interconnected. Thank you very much for taking our time to be here this afternoon. Just like everyone is cutting it short, I am going to cut it short too because, so I'll just be taking pointers and have to look at what I read. But if I talk from my head, we might, so I want to say very big thank you. And again, big support from my team, the board of directors, the members of the NiDCC, Nigerians in Diaspora Chamber of Commerce. I want to say very big thank you, and I also want to say very big thank you to my friend and darling sister, Dr. Patricia Makodo, for all the great work. If I begin to tell you what she has, contributed, running around for me just for this, thank you very much, and thank you everyone for taking our time to be here. So I welcome you all, and I thank you on behalf of our great organizations, the Nigerians in Diaspora Chamber of Commerce. This is a dream come true. Like our Honorable Ambassador said, it's something that we have birthed, something that we've been talking about. We have shared our vision to the government, to individuals, to institutions, to ourselves, traveling in and out. But we know, we continue, we forge ahead, we maintain that vision because we know that when we put people together, when we talk about entrepreneurship, when we implement everything that has to do with entrepreneurship, what are we doing? We're pushing that engine, the engine of growth in every sector, in every economy, for the people, for our communities. So that is what the chamber is all about. And allow me to clearly let us know, this chamber is not about Nigerians. This is about Africa. This is about bridging that gap between the emerging markets and the advanced market. This is about closing that gap where we have a lot of depletion from where we are coming from and plenty at the place we are. It is only wrong when we don't do that. And it's only right when we do it, you know what's going to happen? We're going to close that gap of insecurity. We're going to close the gap of japa, like Nigeria say we were japaing. We're going to close the gap of corruption. We're going to close the gap of, inequality. That's what we're going to do. The people of a place are the only one that can fight for their rights. We heard the keynote speaker talk about, it's not about AIDS anymore. And some of us have been talking about this for a long time. It's not about AIDS. Do you know what it takes as a Nigerian, as a Ghanaian, as a Liberian, as a Cameroonian to come to America? You give a lot to this community. I tell people there's no America without diversity and inclusion. There is no America without diversity and inclusion. We make up America. And I like what someone said about, Dr. Bland. He said we must not exclude our Black American brothers and sisters. And that's why you see some of them are here. And I tell them point blank, you can't be my enemy, I can't be your enemy. Because we're brothers and sisters. If you're saying they did you wrong, they did me wrong too by taking my forefathers, by taking my mothers and my fathers without their will. I'm bringing them here, so I'm happy to see my father in you. I'm happy to see my mother in you. We are blood. And guess where most of the slaves, left from? Let me use Nigeria. It's my state, Edo State. A lot. Even one of our kings was banished, sent into exile because he was trying to protect his people. So people still fought for their people to be back home. So of course, that is why we're bringing us together. We have to fight together. We have to win together. You're not my enemy. You are my friend. I'm your friend. We are relations. So that's why you guys are here. And we will continue to work together. The platform NiDCC exists to connect people, to connect capital, to connect standards, and to connect markets. So that a promising idea in Lagos, a promising idea in Nairobi, a promising idea in Accra, a promising idea in Cairo, in Kigali, or in Johannesburg can compete and scale with confidence in Washington, Dubai, London, and beyond. It will not be surprising to you that you make America, Africa make America, Africa make London, Africa make UAE, Africa make all these things. The emerging market makes them. So we cannot continue to experience depletion and think where we are, we thank God for the work we're doing here. But we want to work with those of us that are here to see what is going back home so we can build. We all remember the song from Michael Jackson and the team. So we are the world. We are the only ones that can come together to make our community, to make our people, to make our lives better. Only us. Guess what? Not just the government. After all, it is you and I that tomorrow sits in the seats of government tomorrow. So it's the people. It is the people that can make this happen. A determined people. A people that have chosen to trust one another. A people that have chosen to do it together. A people that have chosen not to sideline one another, but to work together, stick together for the betterment of our now and for our tomorrow. That's why NiDCC was built. To close that gap. Nothing is impossible to them that are ready to fight. And I want to tell us, especially the first man, Africa, whatever, guess what? You're not going to do this just by speaking. It's not by having PhD. It's not by having doctor and all the awards and the degrees behind your name. It's about action. And it's about putting your money, because one thing I have realized, I know some of us think, I have this dish. No, you have to put your money. You have to put your sweat. You have to go down and touch the soil. You have to get your hands dirty. If you think it is dirty, by the time you get there and then you can make it clean tomorrow. And you don't have to be in politics to do that. No. There are different ways that God has given us ministry. I call it a ministry. The thing I do is a ministry to God and to human beings. So that is it. We have to do this work together. We have to fight together. We have to put our resources in it. My advice to some of our diasporans, we want red carpet you know, in Monitor Mohammed Airport or Namdi Azikiwe, you know, dancing and beating band that Diaspora has come. No. You want Diaspora voting, you have to do something to get it. Even in US Senate and Congress, they fight, they lobby to get bills passed. People don't just give it to them because they're in the Senate. No. Anything that we want to achieve, you don't have to fight for it. When I mean fight, physical fight, we have to put strategy together. We have to work together. We have to trust. I keep repeating this word trust because that's one thing we think we cannot do. I was in one event, in an economic event somewhere in Maryland, and I met this, that was during Larry Hogan's administration. And I met this guy from Mexico. And, you know, after we started talking, I said, oh, you know, you guys are, your people, you work with them. He said, no. He said, when he got that position, he thought, oh, he's just going to help the whole of his people. When he gets to this group, they'll say, no, that's not, our group is the best. The other ones, I said, seriously? And do you know that when I was in NIDO, Sierra Leoneans, Cameroonians, namely, has come to our meeting in Maryland here. Why are you here? This is a Nigerians in the Diaspora organization meeting. He said, we want to learn how you people work together. And I looked at it. I looked at it. I really want it. You see, you think you are not all that, but people are seeing you as greatness. Because indeed you are. Indeed you are. So this is a journey. This is a fight for all of us. This is a building for all of us. What are we looking at as Nigerians in the Diaspora organization? We are not just a membership organization alone. We are not just there to build database of membership and give them, no. We are also a project-based organization. We are looking into agriculture, food sovereignty, food security, in Nigeria, in Ghana. Yes, the name is Nigeria. Nigeria is our launchpad. Nigeria is that navigator for us. Even so many great leaders who are not Nigerians have said it. Mandela, Arikana, and the rest of them. Lumumba. He said, if Nigeria don't get it, Africa will still be sitting down. But we don't want Africa to sit down because of one country. That is why those people from Nigeria and other parts have to come together and move our nations forward, and move our continent forward, and make the world to know that, yes, that America is what it is today is because of our talent. America had no choice 2 years ago to single out Nigerians as less than 1% of the black community doing great things in this country. And there's so many Liberians, so many Cameroonians, so many Ghanaians, and so many other Africans doing great things. We have to sit up. This is not a time for us to sit down and be waiting for, you know, the jollof rice to be cooked, the fried meat, even somebody to even feed us. No, we have to wake up. We have to use our resources, use our talents, use our mouth all together for the benefit of us and the benefit of our people. Some people will say Nigeria will happen to you. How did Nigeria happen to you? And they say it in a negative aspect. Guess what? I was in a meeting sometime here. An ambassador came from Nigeria, and I came with one of my members then in NIDO, and we were talking, and there was something the guy said because of some complaint from some other people. He said, when you were coming to America, which passport did you use? Because maybe you use passport from Edo State or passport from Anambra, but he said no, he says Nigerian passport. So, oh, that means Nigeria has done you good. So your countries, Ghana, Liberia, they've done you good to even give you a passport to be able to travel. That's a benefit. And again, our countries, they are not lands or fan or inanimate object. They are not cars. Nigeria is human being. Ghana is human being. Africa is made up of people. That is why Dubai a few years ago was sand, right? Desert. But guess what now? People that has talent. People that wants to work. People that saw the future. People that want to get their hand dirty and see the riches tomorrow. They see it today. So that's why we have built this Chamber of Commerce, so that we can come together and build. So we can come together and move forward. so we can come together and be beautiful. So we can come together and have innovations. A lot of talents, a lot of young ones with talents, looking for resources, looking for that bridge, looking for that, someone to move them. We need to do this together. We need to move our nations together. We need to move our continent together so we can be proud of ourselves. And if we don't do that, it's because you didn't do it, I didn't do it. That's why we are where we are as a continent, as nations, and as the continent. So it's not about saying, oh, Nigeria happened to me, Liberia has happened to me. What did you do to get your country out of where it is today? What did you do? What is that motivation? What did you do? That's what we should ask ourselves. I think, what have I done to get my country out of where it is today? So there's different programs. I just talked about the agricultural transformation. The chief technology officer talked about, what we are going to be doing in terms of ICT. The chief investment officer also talked about what we are going to be doing in terms of businesses and all that. So we want us to come together. We want to work with you, so we can build, so we can move things forward and be proud of who we are. And be one of those that will say, yes, I was there. I joined my resources. I put in my time. I took our time to make sure Nigeria, Ghana, whichever country that we are representing. Yes, Nigeria is the launchpad. Nigeria is the navigator. But Nigeria is one country that have done something for all other countries without getting anything in return. Please give your hands for Nigeria. America will not come to your country and don't want something. China is everywhere now, they're looking for something. And Dubai will not do it for free. Of course, Britain has been eating from us all the days of their life. But Nigeria goes in everywhere. Even if you hear that, oh, light out, we're giving some African country lights. Yes, we are. We are still giving food. We fought for them, and we are still fighting for them. That's why one day I lamented. I said, is it not the same battalion that fought for other countries? What is going on? So these things can be done. But it takes you and I. It takes a willing heart. It takes people that get motivated by hearing speeches or decide to be motivated by themselves to do these things. Again, I want to thank you for taking our time to be here. And I know that this is not just the end. Some of our members will tell you about how you can get involved with us, with our website, and how you can get involved with us and let us, move forward. Again, I want to say a very big thank you to the Embassy of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for giving us the opportunity to be here this afternoon and for sitting with us. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Madam Key, for those. I told you she was a fighter. Sure, you could hear her vibrate. You could hear her vibrate from where she was. And I think a few things I picked up. She said the Nigerian Diaspora Chamber of Commerce is about closing the gap of inequality, closing the gap of insecurity and inequality. In his inaugural address in 1961, President John F. Kennedy said, "Ask not what your country can do, ask what? I cannot. Ask what you can do for your country." What does that imply? That's entitlement. I'm here, I showed up here. I'm sorry to say, Your Excellency, sir, pardon me, sir, please, excuse me, sir. You come in here to this embassy on any other working day. You have people shouting at the gates, shouting at the staff, going to the visa center. Do you know who I am? Who are you? When you go to the U.S. Embassy in Abuja, the gateman, you're telling him, "Good afternoon, sir." You're greeting him from the gate, the security person. When you come here to the embassy, where these people with families are working to make lives better for us. Nigeria has a very strong population here in the U.S. And of course, being the embassy, it's home to all sorts of complaints. And you see unruly behavior. You see all sorts. I'm traveling tomorrow. You know you're traveling tomorrow and you are just applying today. They buried my burial is in 2 weeks. Madam, new person died first. what people do here. I was born in DC, pardon me, so I might switch here and there. But they don't do the funeral homes that we're used to here. In Nigeria, we have, it's more like festivals. So when somebody dies, we don't just bury the person overnight. So you know that. And you wait until injury time. They are burying my this today too. We have to do better. And I say this because change starts from you and I, all of us in here. And I hope I'm not scaring anybody. We are a great people. We have some great people here, but it's important that and I use this, I'm not going to use, I've been around all the African embassies, but let's start here. Your Excellency, on this one, I want to just say thank you, sir. You've been our father. You've stayed all through to the end to just be here to support us. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for standing in the gap for us. He's shuttling between here and New York, the permanent mission just to supervise. He's here. Sir, you've given us your time today because you believe in this organization. We thank you for your commitment. We thank you for being that father to us. And thank you. So I will also say that the change that we seek in the country, lies with all of us, and we need to move our nation together so we can grow in the words of Madam Key here. If there is one takeaway that we should leave with, is that message of unity. And we are all one. No matter, I'm from Baltimore, I'm from Michigan, I'm from California, all one. You see this melanin? If you have it, we're all from somewhere. I will say that. So I think if you've also been thinking or deliberating on joining the organization, Dr. Michelle, hey, if you've been thinking about it, if you've been wanting to know more, I do hope that all the messages shared from this podium have inspired you, and that you will give them your support. Mrs. Key is not carrying your money. It's not a matter of give me money and I will disappear. She's an institution. We know her. We know what she stands for. That's why I am here today also. And every one of you here, those who were here even before the doors opened, you're here because you believe in her vision, believe in the work that she's doing. So thank you for that commitment, or I thank you for that support. I say if you are thinking about membership, please do not stay too long. Learn more about the chamber and get registered so we can start this work we are talking about. Let us not be all talk. Let us walk the talk, okay? On this note, I sincerely thank you all for your time and attention. My name is Joy John. Good afternoon. Sorry, Your Excellency, sir, I do ask that you come. You were asked to speak to close out the event. You ushered us in now. Thank us as we're leaving, sir. That's the proper way to do it. Well, thank you.
I know we are tired, but why is it that every time I'm introduced to come on stage, nobody gives me a round of applause? Thank you so much. Thanks. Thank you so much for your patience. My office is on the third floor, and when I came in this morning, and I looked downstairs and I discovered that so many people were already here, and I was very pleased that we were very patient till the end. So please sit down, please sit down, please sit down, please sit down, please sit down. We were very patient till the end, and I think the essence of this occasion is very obvious to us, and this is the beginning of a very big thing that is about to be unleashed on Africa, and especially Nigeria. And so we've heard from the CEO, we've heard from other interested members, and I'm sure that we have started putting on our thinking cap so that we'll see how we can make this organization work well. Like the CEO said, it is not just by sitting down and moving or talking, no, it is by action. So we must pull together to see how we can make this to be a reality. And like I said earlier, Nigeria is ready. If you have a foresight, if you can look through your board, you see Nigeria is ready. And anybody who goes there now to invest will be better for it, because after now it may be too late. So please, let's do partnership. Let's come together. Let's find ways and means of penetrating the economy of Nigeria for the benefit of both Nigeria and us, and then for the benefit of the United States of America. So on behalf of the embassy, on behalf of the organizers, and on behalf of myself, I must confess I've been having fun. I want to thank you all for coming. Thank you all for sitting in, staying with us up to this moment. We say, as you go back, that God will grant you journey mercies, and by the grace of God, something bigger will bring us here again. In the name of Nigerians in Diaspora Chamber of Commerce, I thank you for coming.
We want to thank the ambassador once again. Can we give him a round of applause? And Dr. Patience Key for all the work that you're doing. We appreciate you. And we are so excited. We're looking forward to all this adventure that we're getting ready to embark on and going to Nigeria. Please, raise up a hand. Who's trying to get there? Raise your hand. Well, we can't wait to see you. But anyway, I took pictures today. I'll give you all my information. I'm Patricia McDougal. I stream live this on my Facebook page, so all of you who was on there, if I, caught it early enough, of course, you are being watched right now and they're making comments. And anyway, so I have all the pictures. So Ambassador, everybody's gonna start running to you to take a picture. Can we just have you come to the front and then I can just line them up one by one and then we're gonna go eat, okay? So thank you so much. I'm Patricia McDougal, follow me on social media, thank you so much. I too will be in Nigeria for her event. Thank you. Please support me, because I got all these pictures here. We want to make sure that you get your photos correct. Bye. Okay, 1 minute. I don't want them to